All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Let's Talk podcast. My name is Kamisha Whitaker-Moore, and tonight I'm joined by my co-host and son, Cam Bam.
What up?
Tonight we have a special guest. He is a friend of mine. I feel like we may even be relatives somewhere down the line. I've known him for a few years. I want to say about maybe 10 or so. But Mr. Corey Ronalds, thank you so much for being here with us on tonight.
Thank you for having me. Hello, everyone.
Yes, sir.
So it's been about, 10 years.
About 10 years.
10,
okay, gotcha. So
back.
Corey, tell everybody about you.
So my real name is Mike Corey Ronalds. So I go by Corey. I am a native of Hooks, Texas. I have a beautiful wife, Danielle, son Jalen, and a little girl named by the name of Danica, who's 12, and Julian, he's 10. And if he would have been first, he would have been last. That's my wife's favorite saying about my kid.
For real? He's the baby boy.
Yeah, if he
it's always the middle kid, though.
If he would have been first, he'd have been last.
Dang. That's crazy, because this one is my last one. And if he had been first, I probably would have had more. I'm telling you. Because he's pretty cool and chill. Yeah. So he was very, very much so laid back.
Yeah.
So tonight, we're going to be talking a little bit about some mental health.
Okay.
Talking about just some things, just whatever you want to share with us on tonight. So we'll go ahead and let you start, and then we'll catch on up.
So that's fun. So, of course, my background for the past 5 years has been working in mental health.
Mm-hmm.
I've learned a lot of things since working in mental health. I've been in the healthcare field for 20 plus years, marketing different things, from diabetics, toxicology, but home health, but probably the most challenging and most, thought-provoking has been mental health. Yeah, I mean, my experiences in mental health, just because, I'm not in a hospital setting daily, but it really opened my eyes up to my own mental health.
Gotcha.
And how I see other people.
Right.
Since I've been in mental health, I've learned to take the nurture heart approach of parenting, put it that way. And because I can look back at my life, when I learned about the nurture heart approach of parenting, people might say, man, that's soft. That's raising a soft child. But, people don't understand that if you grow up like me, you really got whoopings, Cam.
Yeah, for sure.
You got real whoopings, bro.
Yeah.
I ain't talking about like 2 or 3 day whoopings.
Yeah.
You felt for 2 or 3 days. So, but some of that was good steering, but what was learned in those moments?
Yeah.
How to act right, one thing, right?
Sure.
Oh, I'm gonna get a whooping.
Right.
That's how you heard it. But what was the nurturing side of it?
Right.
What was the growth side of it?
Right.
What was that I love you side of it at?
Right.
What was that, hey, in spite of what you done wrong, I love you after that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
It was a, hey, I'm gonna whoop your butt and go to bed. You go to bed, and so what mental health is taught, what I've learned in behavioral health, and there's many kind of forms of behavioral health, but I have a huge passion when it becomes to kids.
Yeah.
Because being a child, mother died when I was 2, of course, raised my dad. I think being raised by my great-grandmother, 3 people in my life made a great decision. My dad, my great-grandmother, my great-grandfather. Because my dad made the decision to allow me to go live with my great-grandmother.
Gotcha.
Because, it's not there was going to be stability, but my dad worked. My great-grandmother kids are grown.
Yeah.
My grandmother's mother. I'm talking about my grandmother's mother. So there was some stability there. There was going to be a woman who's raised children, and now she has a great-grandson in her home. The mom died, so, of course, she gets to be a mother all over again.
Yeah.
To a young boy, that I didn't know anything. Some of the greatest time of my life was living with my great-grandmother.
Yeah, for sure.
And so fast forwarding to those points, those times in my life, because remember, I said earlier, I believe our lives are, our traumas are formed on how we live and how we grew up, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it didn't dawn on me till like I was 40 plus years old that, man, and after this job, like, that's a lot of traumas that I have that I hadn't dealt with.
For sure.
Of course.
Totally
And
can relate.
how I'm parenting, how I'm loving my wife. We learn what? Be a strong man, be tough, don't cry. We cried anyway.
Yeah.
Be quiet. You don't stop all that crying before you get another whooping. You know what I'm saying? That's one of those things.
For sure.
Yeah, be a football player, from a boy around, be a star, this and that. But, we never talked about nurturing the nurtured heart, the heart of the matter.
Yeah.
And so now I would tell anyone, man, when I say really talk to your kids, really talk to your kids. I'm not talking when they wait till they get teenagers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about 6, 7, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And one thing I love about my little boy, I'll tell you, he might be in class, but I hear I love you.
Yeah.
Every single day, at least 10 times a day.
I got you.
Because the nurtured heart approach.
Yeah.
Love your kids.
Yeah.
Love your kids, man.
When you say have conversations, when you say have conversations with your children, what do those conversations consist of? Because sometimes, parents think that, hey, I'm whooping your butt. This is why I'm whooping your butt. Those are conversations. What type of conversations are you talking about?
I mean, so you're going to whoop a child. So if your child does something wrong,
mm-hmm.
something that people would say warrants a butt whooping.
Right.
Well, say if that child is 7 years old,
mm-hmm.
it warrants a butt whooping. They done something wrong. Well, give me something. They took a piece of candy when they weren't supposed to. They weren't supposed to eat that candy, but they did anyhow. So the first thing that comes, the voice elevates, right?
Right.
You're yelling.
Mm-hmm.
You're at them.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're swinging at them.
Mm-hmm.
Now all this trauma's happened. Now if they're afraid to do anything.
Right.
And so all of this is coming, but you've never said anything. If you never taught them before why they shouldn't do that.
Right.
Then what did they learn in that moment?
Right.
That their mom and dad is gonna yell.
Yeah.
Gonna whoop, gonna hurt, but there's no teaching moment in that process. Because it goes back to how were your trauma? How were you taught at that age? That mom, that dad that does those things. So my kids done my little boy just ate his sister's candy before I got here. He ate his candy and then blamed it on the dog.
You're right.
Yeah, he really did. So he felt like we have a dog, we have a pit bull. I bought them both candy. What would your sister like? He got us some M&Ms. Mm-hmm. And so that conversation was when I went to the refrigerator, it was torn open, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, Julian, did you eat your sister's candy? No, Samson did. So we're talking about a whole pit bull.
Right.
That he perfectly opened the M&M.
Right.
And just got 2 or 3 out of there. Mm-hmm. So there's Julian telling a little story, right?
Right.
And telling a lie, let me just be
honest. Right. For real, you hear me?
We will. Telling a lie. So
right.
Instead of just yelling and going crazy and going irate and telling you just lying, you got to stop lying. You're like, man, let's have a conversation about this. Well, why did you do that?
Right.
And what is he going to say?
I don't know.
Teaching moment.
Right.
Son, I trusted you. When we went to the store, I asked you, I'm going to buy you something and we're going to buy your sister something. What is she like? Mm-hmm. You picked this for her. So you gifted her. You thought about your sister enough to say, she likes M&Ms and we're going to get her these, Daddy. And I said, they were for who? They were for Sissy. That's what he said. I said, but you can't turn around and eat her candy. This belongs to someone else. Don't take something that's not yours.
Right.
Right? When you give something to someone, or something's for someone else, it's not yours.
Right.
So then he got to go to his room. Yeah, he didn't go to his room yelling. I said, hey, go to your room. Go think about what you did. About 10, 15 minutes before we left, he comes back out. What does he say? I love you, Daddy.
Yeah, right. So I have a question. So we're in our 40s, right?
Yeah.
So you're in your 40s. You have your baby is Julian. Then how old is your baby girl?
12.
She's 12. Okay. So I'm in my 40s. I'm in my late 40s. I have Cam. He is the baby. He's 25?
24.
24. I'm sorry. Old age. 24. He is the baby of the bunch. Mm-hmm. Being a parent to him, and now he's grown, and you're in your 40s, and you have teenage children and preteens, right?
Yeah.
Is there a difference in how we were raised? I know there's a difference in how we were raised opposed to how you're raising your children right now.
Totally.
Opposed to how I'm raising my children right now. Now, I know that you said something about, where is the nurturing part in that? Now, in my household, we got both.
Of course.
But we had both parents there.
Right.
So my dad was the disciplinarian all day, every day. Whatever he said is what he meant. And if he looked at you, you already know your butt was going to get a whooping. And so your butt got whooped for 2 days, for real. So it was just like you got a whooping. And then the thing about my dad was this, it still is. He would talk to you after he needed a break to tell you exactly what was going on and why you were getting your butt spanked. And the reason why he was doing it is because he wanted you to be good and that things like this we can't do. So he would explain to us while he was tagging our little butts.
Right.
But then at the end of that, you know what I mean? He told us why. And then there's my mom with the hugs and the kisses to make things okay and better.
Right.
So we got that part. You know what I mean?
Right.
But still with that, and we're still grown, there is still traumas that we went.
Of course.
So then you're like, okay, so I didn't get that part in the parenting part. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you didn't get that, or, you know, where's the nurturing part of it? You got your butt spanked, you told why, and then go to bed and all these other things. So we got the tagging, we got the explanation, we got the hugs, and we got the kisses. We got all those. But then there's still trauma. So is there a difference?
So I found myself parenting the way that I feel like I wanted to be. I should have been parented.
Gotcha.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So like, I don't ever recall saying I love you to anyone.
Yeah.
As a kid.
Right.
And so me and my wife do a great job.
Yeah.
Of letting that be known, you know, in our house. So you're like, again, you know, I grew up, again, mom, dad lived somewhere else. At the time, was married, great-grandmother raised me. So I don't recall ever telling anyone as a kid, I love you. And so, you know, it is different. We do parent different.
Yeah.
I parent from a standpoint, let me love my kids like I want it to be. It sounds bad, but man, it's just something that's in me. Mm-hmm. That's what I do. So is that always the best way? Mm-hmm. Listen, your house, not my house.
Right.
Do I whoop my kids how I got whooping kids?
Yeah.
No. Because I know what that done to me.
Right.
That hurt.
Right.
Do my kids get whooping?
Yeah.
Yeah. But they don't get our whooping. I don't know how your whooping was.
Right.
So me and my wife were like the best of both worlds.
Right.
You know, I don't think she probably ever got a whooping. Probably didn't do nothing to get a whooping. Probably did, just didn't get a whooping like that.
You're a boy. Yeah. I mean, you know what I mean? So y'all are hard.
The whoopings were different though.
Yeah,
man. Come on, but no, do we parent the same? No. We do parent different. We all parent different.
Right.
I mean, there's things that you've done for Cam that you probably never imagined happened in your life. Sure. In some phases of your life. We do parent differently though. And then society almost makes you parent different.
Yes, sir. Let's talk about that. Jesus.
Society has taken that, you know, they almost have crippled the parent.
Yes.
And given children too many rights.
Yeah.
And if you work going back to my work world, man, you don't know the magnitude of parentless children, not because something happened to the parents, because they don't want to be there. I mean, you're forced to, like, any little thing you do now.
Yeah.
Snatch your kid up in public, you want to. You might get a call.
Oh, for real.
Right.
CPS gonna be a jazz.
Yeah, you always thinking that way.
Yeah.
Man, something said at school differently. Yeah, you might get a call.
Yeah.
You know, and then and then we see too many avenues now where parents can not be responsible for their children. You know, they've also done that. Yeah. They've also created venues where children can go to if they're having these problems.
Right.
So that's another part of it. You crippled them and you enable them to be responsible parents as well.
Right.
By, disciplinary action, institutional facilities, outpatients. Now, therapists are raising children.
Right.
Counselors at school are raising children.
True.
Coaches are raising children. Temporarily anyway. But, so now, that society is crippled.
It is.
It's crippled.
You're right. Even in the medical world, we cripple our parents because, number one, in different states, there's laws to where a little kid or a teenage girl can come into a facility and have treatment done, and the parents may never know. We don't have to tell them anything.
No.
If a 13-year-old comes in there for a STD or something like that, we don't have to tell the parent. Number one, because the state or the law says that it's not the parent's business.
Right.
Yes, sir. It is the parent's business.
All my business.
But with the law being the law, I don't have to tell mama nothing.
Right.
And I don't have to tell daddy anything. And these kids know the law, and they come in there every time and they do whatever they want to do, however many times they want to do it, knowing that they can get treated and we don't have to tell anybody.
Yeah. And someone has to be held responsible for that.
True.
because it's bad on both sides of it. There at one point in time in Texas, there were children living in hotels, buildings, because just they, nowhere to go. This is like public, right? This is like nowhere to go, nowhere out. There are a lot of homeless children that are in systems. They're in systems that need parenting,
right?
And so it's just because it's been made easy to say to the side.
This is
Let me
true.
go live my life. Look at our media every day.
Yeah,
lives being taken and
that's true.
Pushed to the side. We have medicated it. We medicated our children to death.
Yeah.
Sorry. Truth.
It's true.
It's the truth.
It is.
And so there's no raising them anymore.
No.
Are they raising themselves? But the stories I hear from coaches is, all right, it'll make you cry.
Yeah.
It'll make you cry because mothers are younger now. They've been younger, but I don't know. My mothers back then being younger were just mothers.
A little different.
They were a little different.
A little bit different.
A little bit different.
Because Anthony, and the reason why, not Anthony, I'm sorry, Corey, the reason why is because, number one, we had tough grannies and great grannies and different things like that. And so when we were young moms and we had our children, we had my grandmother showing me how to do, what to do, and what I needed to do.
Right.
Nowadays, the grandmothers and the great grandmas, because the younger the girls are or the boys are, that means the younger the moms are. And so mama's still trying to get her groove on.
Yeah.
And she's still out here trying to wait to exhale and all of these other things because she doesn't want to get stuck. She got you, and now you got a baby. So that's your child. And I'm going to go out here and I'm going to go to the club. I'm going to go to the parties. I'm going to do all the things I need to do. I don't have time to be raising no kids because that's your baby. So they're younger and they're not doing what they're supposed to do. And they don't even know how to raise these children.
Because the father has let them down.
This is true.
Let's just be honest.
This is true.
And that's historically, that's been since the beginning.
Yeah.
Before me and you were hit there.
That's true.
The father has let them down. The father's role has been to provide our work, but no.
Yeah.
No. We provide, we do all.
That's true.
We do all. So, the father, the mama gets tired.
Yeah. I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Working in the field that you're working in and knowing, and just with this conversation, I know there has to be a big difference. I don't know if there is or not, but with the kids that that no fathers are in the home, opposed to the children with the father and the mother in the home, is there a difference when you see them, when you work with them, when you're around them? Is there a difference in what they do, how they act, or whatever the case may be? Or is it just all the same?
So you're going to ask me, and I think it's all the same.
Gotcha.
Because I've heard success stories, I've heard horror stories on both sides.
Gotcha.
I've seen 2-parent homes, but I still see struggle.
Yeah. I've
seen single moms. Look, man, I don't know if y'all watch NBA in the drafts, NFL drafts like I have over the years, but historically,
there's no daddy.
Who that kid talking about?
Yeah.
So I'm not just saying that's the only way. It's positives, but I think it's across the board. We say it's different.
Yeah.
And we hear the videos talking about without the father in the home.
Yeah.
But what if the father was in the home?
True.
What if he's a trouble father?
Yeah.
What if he's an abusive father?
Yeah.
Let's not act like that's okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Because the circumstances, it's circumstantial. Like, father might not need to be in the home.
Yeah.
Might be best for the child to be with the mother.
That's
child might be better being with the father.
I agree.
A lot of different situations. So I can say that it's just depending on the environment and the situation.
I got you.
From what I see.
Yeah.
Because we've all probably seen this somewhere like, man, he need to go on about his business.
Yeah.
You need to leave him or you need to take the child and go. It's circumstantial, man.
It is.
And it's hard, but true.
It's true. Now, we grew up churchy. We talked about that.
We grew up churchy.
We definitely grew up churchy. We kind of, I stayed in one. You kind of moved around a little bit.
Yes, I got old. I did a lot. I went to everybody's church.
Hey, it ain't nothing wrong with it.
I went to everybody's church. You have your foundation, but I went to everybody's church.
You do. And you have to figure that part out. But growing up churchy, right? And then we knew how things go or whatever the case may be. We both had, great grannies and all the things. Growing up churchy in mental health, what do you think? Because we kind of hit on that a little bit. So let's talk about that.
So I kind of look at it like this. I'll use this. So we grew up church. We have a foundation. We believe what we believe.
Right.
But, and it was always said, I'm going to quote, if any man be in Christ is a new creature, old things are passed away, all things become new.
Right.
So we're this new person. So now we have to practice these things that we learned, these foundational things that we learned.
Right.
We've grown up. Now we got to put these things into practice.
Right.
So they're not working.
Right.
So we go to counseling. Then you got some other stuff that you got to practice. Now the counselor's giving you all these principles and these 12 steps, and you're paying all this money. You're paying money everywhere. You're giving over here, you're giving over there. Sure. You're doing all of this, but nothing's working. So you look at yourself like, man, I'm tired of doing this.
Yeah.
I mean, I got there before. I've been through both, and I kind of got tired of doing both.
Yeah.
For a minute there, you know what I'm saying? I'm just being honest. Like,
for real, I mean, you have to be.
You're tired of doing both. So the foundational piece is this. I love God. I believe in Jesus. But he never said it would be easy.
Right.
He never said this would be easy. And it kind of helped me say, I've talked to the counselor and I went far enough in my life with counseling. That was cool.
Yeah.
But my bank account says, time for you to stop.
Yeah, you hear me?
That season's over with.
Right.
You got all you can get out of me. And so now I got to look at the man in the mirror.
Right.
And that's Mike Corey and Reynolds.
That's right. That's right.
You got to really look at the man in the mirror and say to yourself, like, man, you got to change.
Yeah.
Can't nobody change for you. Can't no preacher tell you how to change your life. Can't no therapist tell you how to change. You have to make those necessary changes for yourself.
True.
And it's going to be hard. I told you about the analogy earlier, but we talked about the diabetic guy.
Right.
So I told her that, a friend of mine used this analogy. This guy is a diabetic and he loved cheesecake. Loved cheesecake. And he just couldn't stop eating cheesecake. How can I stop? People ask, Lord, deliver me for cheesecake.
Yeah.
And the guy does something like makes a gun in his hand and puts it to his head and like, boom. He said, why did you do that? He said, because the only way you're going to get away from cheesecake is that you die.
Yeah.
That you die. You can't eat nothing if you're not here.
That's true. Because temptation is always here.
So how about establish some boundaries in your life?
Yeah.
How about some disciplines in your life? How about just telling you're diabetic and you know what happened, the consequences for eating cheesecake?
Right.
Diabetic comas, stroke out here.
Yeah, for sure.
So do you want the alternative of the gun, the taking yourself out, or do you want to practice better discipline?
Right.
That's the man in the mirror. That's the man you got to ask to change the way he thinks and how he lives. I tell you earlier, we talked earlier about God's grace being sufficient. It's a thorn.
Yeah.
Cheesecake's your thorn, but I'm sorry. But really the thorn is you're not undisciplined. You have no discipline.
You're not disciplined.
The thorn is you're diabetic. How do you manage it? God's grace is sufficient.
True.
Acknowledge your weaknesses. Work hard every day to deal with those things. Man, I do it every day. I mean, that's the thing you have to do when it comes to all of this. You have to put forth the effort to manage mental health. You have to put forth the effort to be a better parent.
Right.
It's a constant grind.
You
don't want to be a parent every day.
No, parenting is hard. My son said something the other day that it tickled me. I never commented on it, but he texted our family group and he said, adulting. What did you say about adulting? I'm sick of adulting, or I hate adulting, or whatever the case may be.
I said it sucks.
Yeah, adulting sucks.
It sucks.
It does.
It really does.
Adulting sucks. Parenting, I'm not saying parenting sucks, but parenting is hard because sometimes, and I understand we're talking about mental health, and I'm just being transparent too. Sometimes you are feeling by yourself. You're feeling like I wasn't married. You are married. So there's a difference maybe between my parenting or how I raised my children and how I felt than you, because you have a partner. I didn't have a partner. Right. So it was really hard for me because honestly, raising 3 children around the same age, there were stair steps. And so you are sitting there and you're wondering, honestly, I have to do this for my children. I need to do this for my family. going to school, making sure that they were good and had all the things that they needed. And then on top of that, just really wondering where the money is going to come from. And then trying to figure out how you're going to spend time with your children and how you're going to do all of these things that they want to do. Man, there was days that we sat in the floor, crisscross applesauce, and we cried ourselves to sleep.
Of course.
A lot. Because number one, I'm crying because there's bills to be paid. There's things to be done. There's shoes that need to be bought, Pampers and food and milk and all the things. And they're crying because they're sleepy. They're not hungry. Just simple things that a rock or two would be fine. And we would just cry ourselves to sleep. And honestly, as a single mom, that definitely did something to my mental. But honestly, like you said earlier, when did you ever realize that you needed something about mental health?
Yeah. When did you?
Like in my late 40s.
When did you? Yes.
In my 40s.
In your late 40s. That's exactly. Well, if I'm honest, 43?
Yeah.
43, just all of a sudden something clicked. Like,
yeah.
All these after COVID.
Yeah.
This is all you hear.
Yeah.
It's mental health.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, man, we are left to deal with ourselves.
Yeah.
Is it mental health though?
Yeah.
Is it that? Is it, is it things that, again, I go back to say our lives are formed by our traumas. Our life was formed by traumas that we had. And now we're just waiting in our 40s to just start to uncover all of these things that no one never talked about.
Yeah.
I didn't think about this in my 20s. I thought about paying bills and working and going to hang out. That's what I did. And going to church. I was a church kid then. A church kid then. But that's what I thought about it. But all of this now, I mean, God, what's up? Why can I learn this in my 30s?
Yeah, for sure.
Why am I waiting till 40s where all the anxiety is high? Because we were not prepared. If I'm honest, there's no such thing as preparing for parenting.
No.
Or bills.
Ever.
Or being responsibilities.
No, sir.
Unless you leave me money. If I'm a hedge fund kid.
Yeah.
And probably they still got that level of issues too, but still, know. I mean, but in most American families, I'm going to be honest, most Black American Black families, that finances are one of the hardest things we deal with. Sure. And so that's why daddy's gone.
Yeah.
That's why mama working.
2 and 3 jobs.
2 or 3 jobs. 2 or 3 jobs just to make it.
Sure.
And that's where it's formed. That's where the frustration comes.
And which I don't think we ever think about this either, because sometimes in dealing with our trauma is like working 2 and 3 jobs to take care of our children. And then your child never sees you. And then they start playing sports and different things like that. And then you're never at a game. And you just never really think about things like that, because you're like, I'm trying to provide for my kids. I'm trying to provide for my family. But they're like, you'll never come. You never do this. You never do that. Everybody else's mom and daddy there, but you are never there. But your mind is thinking, I got to take care of you. Right. I got to make sure that you're good. So I got to go out here and work for these shoes, these pants, and different things like that and pay these bills. We're thinking that way, but they're thinking something totally different.
And that's so hard.
It is hard because honestly, we're causing trauma within ourselves, and then we're causing unspoken trauma with our children as well. And we never think about that.
Yeah, so I don't miss a game.
Listen, Corey, I don't either. Now, it took me a minute to really understand how important it was for me to be present with my children, because that was me. Yeah. I was out here working 2 and 3 jobs, trying to provide for my kids. And then my daughter told me one day, she said, you never come when she was running track at Texas High. And I'm like, that bothered me.
Of course it did.
That bothered me. Yeah. And I'm like, that is so crazy. And it makes me very tearful now to think about, because as a young mom, you don't think about that. You just think about trying to take care of your kids.
Yeah.
And so then at that point, it's just like, hey, I'm gonna have to make time to do what I need to do. One of these jobs gotta go. And so then I get out here and I do all the things that I need to do. I make sure that I focus on my children. And once I started doing that, I never missed anything. Yeah. I came to every game. This one over here played basketball. And every night there was a home game, even a away game. He would always look at me in the stands every time just to see if I was there. Yeah. And so we would always do just like this. You know what I mean? I'm like, play your game, do what you need to do every single time. I never knew how important that was until she said that. And then at that moment, I had to give something up. Yeah. To make sure that I was being the parent that I needed to be.
It's so great that you say that, because I'll never forget when my dad playing baseball came to one of my games.
Yeah.
He sit up in hooks. He sit up in the top of the bleachers. It was dark. I struck out like 11 people. And like the last guy I struck out, my coach came out there and said, whatever you're looking at up there, keep looking at it.
Yeah.
And I'm 45 years old.
Mm.
And both of my sons, Jalen, he did it. They always look back.
Yeah.
They're always looking for him. They always know like, yeah, he here.
Yeah.
Yeah, here. And Julian always looking for me. And he's looking for me to say good job.
Yeah.
And so because, man, I'm telling you, no matter what, that's the dad.
Yeah.
That I want to be, because I remember that one moment of my dad sitting up there in those stands and my performance. Now, I love playing baseball. We do baseball. Now, my kids do.
Yeah.
I'm ashamed, but my kids do what I love.
Yeah.
They play baseball. Their daddy loves baseball. So and he loves football too, but he loves baseball. So shamelessly, that's, my kids do that because of me.
Yeah.
So am I guilty of living through my kids a little bit? Just a little bit.
Yeah, it's okay. There's nothing wrong with it.
I don't get in the way, but I do, man. I give my kids what I wanted. And, I give my kids what I wanted. And so that's being a dad to me.
That's true.
That's being a dad. And that mom I commend you for sacrifice.
Yeah. And honestly, being a single parent is definitely a sacrifice. And even being a parent being a two family home is still a sacrifice too. Raising kids is hard.
Good. Being
Being a parent is hard. I'm telling you, Anthony and I talk about marriage is hard. Baby, hey, if I can be a parent, I should be able to hold down a marriage, because I'm telling you, it is so hard on the streets. So this reminded me of, I don't know why this keeps coming to me, but a long time ago, I had a dream, right? And in my dream, I saw this, and this is how I know that we talk about our traumas and how as adults we deal with traumas. We never really think about the kids or our children that deal with traumas, right? Because this one's sitting over here. Do you have any traumas? So he'll have traumas. Some things I may not even know. Sure. Some things I probably caused, from being a mom or doing something that I had, what I'm saying? I had no business doing, but didn't even realize. But one particular night, and I know this was nobody but God, one night I had a dream. And in my dream, I saw this tall, dark figure, right? And it was me, it was Kaylin, my daughter, and it was my two boys. So Kaylin and myself, we were on that, it was a street. Kaylin and myself, we were at the other end of the street. And Chris and Cam were riding bikes. And this dark figure was behind them. And so they were riding the bike and they were coming toward me. And so on this bike, they were just riding. And all of a sudden they started slowing up and this dark figure started getting closer to them, right? Tall, dark, like the Grim Reaper that you see on TV, tall, dark, and started getting close to them. And so when I looked back at them, they were kind of slowing up and this dark figure was catching up to them. And it was coming in fast. And I said, hey, let's go. Just like that. And I snapped my fingers. And when I did, those little legs started pedaling that bike and they started coming fast and they started coming toward me again. And they left this dark figure. And in my dream, God explained to me that we worry about our issues that we have and how we're fighting so hard with people and our jobs and money and finances. Our children are fighting demons every single day. And we're not even realizing how hard the devil is fighting them. Yeah. And we have to, because we're so consumed with what we got going on. We're not even thinking about them. And the devil is definitely trying to get them as well. And so in my dream, God explained to me what I needed to do every morning with my children. Pray with them, or like we have like that anointing oil over in Kojic, right? Yeah. We got that anointing oil and put it on that head. And then every morning, put it on their head. Every night, put it on their head, because the devil is fighting our children just as hard as he's fighting us grown people. And we never realize this. Right. And Corey, honestly, this is a part of the mental health issues with kids. Yeah. I'm telling you, I know that it is.
And the craziest part, we talking about it because you're a woman, raising a daughter.
Yeah.
It's definitely hard because it's like, you want to crack the code and figure out, hey, what's going on?
Yeah.
But man, that little child is like, it's tough.
Yeah, it is
She's tough. I'm trying to get stuff out of her. It's like trying to. So I just hug.
Yeah.
I just hug and I just hug and I just hug because and I look at her mama like.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of emotional. I mean, you're a woman. There's a lot of things that she,
It's true.
She's 12, so you know what's going on.
For sure.
And so I'm like, but still, for me, it's like, that's hard.
Yeah.
That's hard.
You got the guy down, step down pat, but it's the
easy,
girl.
but
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
You praying about like, man, did I do something?
Yeah.
And so, trying to crack the code of a 12-year-old girl that's going, that's growing up and she's not the little girl sitting in your lap anymore. She still does. So she's near as tall as I am.
Yeah.
But it's not the little girl that's leaning on you anymore. She in a room now. Now I'm opening up doors. Like I'm talking about taking the doors off the hanger. Yeah. I want to know what you're doing. It hinges. I know what you're doing. But, I'm violating her space.
Yeah.
And I've had to learn how to like really like walk with my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Hold her hand, but let her be.
Her.
Let her be her.
Mm-hmm.
And Danielle has had to teach me that because I don't want her to be her.
Yeah.
I want her to be able to tell me everything.
Yeah, for sure. Some girls don't.
But that's not easy though. And so I have to be mindful of her mental health when I do that because she would tell me like when she plays sports, like she'd tell her mama, not me, like Daddy puts too much pressure on me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just altogether just back all the way up, like I ain't gonna do it, you do it.
Yeah.
And so, but like I'm afraid, like as a dad to a young lady, I don't want to be the cause of her, her grief. I want her to know that I'm here to support her, and I got her, and I'm walking right behind her.
Yeah.
Because I'm behind you, no matter what happens. So while that's what I wanted to know, that no matter what, like I'm right here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna do nothing to you.
Right.
Not while I'm here, they're not anyway.
For sure.
And so, but learning that and trying to gain that with a woman, period, is hard.
It is hard. Even as a mom, it's hard too because my mom raised us, of course, all of us girls, and then trying to raise a daughter too, and trying to raise a daughter like I was raised doesn't work.
No,
you know what I mean. It doesn't work. So you have to kind of do things differently. Sometimes when we get into it, she'll tell me like all my faults when she's mad. And I'm like, well, you could have told me this years ago. We could have fixed this a long time ago. So I think it is hard. And honestly, that hurts your feelings. But at the end of the day, you just have to reassure your child that, hey, I got you there. Hey, I got your back. I'm here. I got your sides and all the things. And Kaylin knows that. Yeah. And so we don't agree on a lot, but they know that. And I think that as a young lady, at one point, Kaylin was like with all the hugs and all the kisses, and she would allow me to kiss on her, hug on her. And then when she became a teenager, everything kind of flipped. It was like, don't touch me, don't hug me. Right.
Leading from a distance is hard.
It is. It really is. So it can be done, but you just got to keep reiterating that, hey, I got you, I love you, but if you need me, I'm right here.
My wife does a good job with Danica. At first I used to get mad, like, you're not our friend, you're a mother.
Yeah.
You're a mother. You're a mother. But there's days she really needs her mom to be her friend.
You do.
That's that communication with the communication side. Because I would get mad, like, you ain't getting on to it. Be a mama, not a friend.
Yeah.
And then she'd be like, you don't even understand.
But that's what we learned though, Corey, because, my mom would tell me that too. I'm not your little friend. I'm your mama. But sometimes you need your mama to be your friend. You
definitely do.
To a certain extent, because they're not going to let you go over and talk to them crazy or whatever the case may be. Right. But I need you to be my friend in this moment. Yeah. So who do you need me to be? Yeah. And sometimes you have to be that person because I've been a friend to Cam instead of a mom. He doesn't allow it a lot, but when he does allow it, I cherish those moments. Even to Chris, because Chris doesn't, but when he shares with me, I listen and I let him talk, because he tells me all the time, you know everything. And I don't know everything, but I just know how I feel about it. Yeah. But I think that even with that, we still out here, we're still trying to figure it out.
Yeah. You say even you listen.
Mm-hmm.
Listening is a challenge.
It is, because I talk too much.
Especially when misinformation, like if it's something bad, my trigger is something bad. Mm-hmm. I'm probably mad now. Yeah. Especially when it pertains to harm to children. And so you need to. It's hard to listen then. Mm-hmm. All the cloud, all the the anger and the frustration. It's hard to listen then. But listening to your children is hard too when you're frustrated with them. Yeah. And so that's one thing that I have to constantly practice. Like I talked about it earlier, but it's been a work in progress for a while. Mm-hmm. Not parenting like
Yeah.
Your trauma. Don't parent through your trauma.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And this is where this is where we mess up. And then honestly, before you know it, you look around and then you have these kids with these issues and these problems. They don't want to talk. They just out here acting crazy. Oh. And then next thing you know, they're up here shooting schools up. And I'm just like, I don't even understand how we got here. Yeah. But I do know that when I had that dream, my kids were little. And I believe that to this day. The devil fights them just as hard as he fights us.
Think about your baby crying.
Mm-hmm.
Even at the age of 6, you cried. Mm-hmm. 5, 6, you cried. They can't express that.
True.
The trauma.
It is.
Who can what 6-year-old can, and if they can, listen.
Yeah.
If they start talking, listen.
So I thought about this, Corey. With all of this, and sometimes parents are parenting through their traumas, in which we should not.
Right.
And sometimes we have all of this trauma in us, unidentified trauma. And as parents, we're trying to parent, but we're parenting the wrong way. Or we're parenting a way that our children don't need to be parented, right? They need to be parented because sometimes we could just do the wrong thing. But how do you think, or does this play a huge part in our young children in school, in the school system today? Because when I have my nephew. He's so smart, but he gets in trouble in school because he gets bored and just different things like that. And so, and even at home, like say for instance, your home life is not the best life. Like Ryder has a good life. But if you have a kid that doesn't have the best life and they come to school and they're always in trouble, they're always doing all of this, how do you see this where you work, or how much does that affect that kid that goes to school, even in high school, from like a little kid all the way up? If that even makes sense. So
it does. It does a lot. And because a lot of it does start at home.
Yeah.
For the most part. Again, we do see, experience, and I've seen it from a spectrum, from the side of, kids being baby too much.
Yeah.
Or, kids like raising themselves. Mm-hmm. It's like, again, it's the situation. It's whatever the situation is. But going to school boredom, let me talk about my own child so I can talk about my other child. Mm-hmm. Like, I do. My son is like busy. Mind never stops. Boredom in school. He has a good home, but he still gets in trouble in school.
Right.
And because recess is 20 minutes, I think they gained 5 minutes this year. I think he was happy about that.
Right.
And so we see the challenge of getting in trouble for being just stuck in isolation in a place and forced to do something that a 9-year-old child don't want to do.
Right.
A 10-year-old child don't want to do. And so what happens in that, you see the behavior issues start to come, and then we immediately say, what's next? Send them to the principal. Put them in the detention hall. And then it starts.
Right.
Now you've created this mindset that he can't express because he's stuck in class. He got to be quiet. For how many? I mean, you only gave him 20 minutes.
Right.
Remember, you only gave him 20 minutes outside of recreation. So now he's back in class where they go to school from 7:50 to 3:15.
Right.
So out of 7:50 to 3:15, that's like, what is it when you're on lockdown for 23 hours, only 1 hour a day?
Basically you are.
That's called prison.
Yeah.
So in a lot of these kids' mind, even though it's education and the people are in there, it still feels like prison.
Yeah.
So 20 minutes a day. But you get free time for 20 minutes, and then you're back in the classroom.
Yeah.
How would you act?
Yeah, for sure.
How would you be if you were in prison and they gave you 1 hour a day?
Ooh.
And you 23 hours of lockdown?
Yeah.
I'd go insane.
Does it sound like school? Does it sound like what I described? School's not a bad thing, but does it sound like that a little bit?
For sure. Absolutely.
How many recesses did you get growing up?
1 or 2. It was a little different back in the day. 2.
They were long too.
They were.
They're pretty long.
Like, can we go back in? It's hot outside.
It's hot outside.
Yeah.
Right. So when you from the school setting, home's already rough.
Right.
You're not getting support at home that you want, or you are getting support at home that you need, but you still don't want to go to this environment, and so you're disruptive. Because I'm telling you, I talked to 30 teachers. It's different.
Right. Do you see more so in our black community
Yes.
than any?
Let's not even sugarcoat it. Yes. My black friends that are teachers, I mean, you know, there's a particular school that have like specialists, right?
Yeah.
And I said, man, why are they all black? I just asked this question last week. The staff is all black. He said, because most of the kids acting up are black. This is a real conversation we're going to have, because this is a real question I asked. That's what he said, because most of the kids are acting up black.
Wow.
Hard.
Yeah.
Tough pill to swallow.
True.
For me, it was very challenging to hear that, but it was what he said. Because most of the kids that are acting up are black.
Do you think we've like just labeled these kids?
Yep.
And so from one school or from one grade to another grade to another grade to another grade, and their name just been passed on. And so they don't even get a second chance. Yep. They just been marked.
Now, some have, a lot do get second chances. I mean, a lot of them are worked with, but depending on the school, the situation you're in, the school. I mean, I'm not here to, tell people their kid's bad. I don't do that. But, that's that parent has to look in the mirror and like, what's really going on?
For sure.
What's really going on? Because there are some teachers that care. Yeah. Black, white, Hispanic, Latino, male, female. There are some teachers that really care.
Some don't, though, Corey.
Some don't care, though.
Some do not.
They do not care.
Let me tell you.
You're right about it.
Let me tell you this story. I will never forget it. So I put my children, I put 2 out of 3 of my kids in a certain school district. And so they would tell me, like my middle son, Chris, he's just bad. He just stops. He doesn't want to learn. He doesn't want to do this. He just gets an attitude, whatever. And so then they failed him, right? They failed him. And they said that he was disruptive in class, and they failed him, and that if I disagreed, that I could have a meeting with them. Now, I'm a young mom. I'm just like, okay, he's maybe 5th grade or something like this. And so I'm upset because I'm like, how are you failing him? I know that he is not slow because we're doing the work at home, because whatever you send him home with, we work with it. We do our homework. We do all the things, and he's getting it. So I go to the meeting, and when I tell you that these were Black women, and one of the reasons why I put my child there is because I'm thinking this is my community, because I am a Black woman.
Yes.
You are Black teachers.
Yes.
You care. You're going to help me. And I'm going to do all the things I need to do with my kid at home. And you're going to help me here. And whatever I'm missing, you're going to let me know it. Because this is how I'm looking at it, Corey.
Yes.
They told me that regardless of what I said, that they were going to fail him. And I said, okay, well, today will be his last day here in this school district. I took my son out. I put my son in another school district. 2 weeks in to his new school district, a teacher, not a Black teacher, noticed that my son was turning letters and numbers around. And she said, this is his frustration.
Yeah.
Because as we're going through this part here, and then once we finish this, and then we start something new, he is still here because of this, right? Had him tested. He has dyslexia.
Yeah. I'm there.
But you telling me that my kid was bad.
I'm there.
You're telling me that my son was an awful kid, and you're supposed to be my village.
Yeah.
The people that I look up to, because we're all the same skin color, and I'm like, this is going to be my village, and this is the main reason I'm putting it over here.
Talk about it.
But then you tell me that my son needs to be in the same grade because he's disruptive and he didn't know. And it took another person just to take 2 weeks out of their day, out of their time, to notice that. I didn't even notice it, and I felt bad as a parent. But my son's dyslexic. Once he got the help that he needed, he went from attitude to a straight A, B, and sometimes C student. Now, he didn't apply himself with them C's, but things changed.
We did the same thing for my son. And what was supposed to be hard his last couple 6 weeks was not that challenging. When I talk to teachers, we talk real. I said, how do you expect a child who can't read well to comprehend?
Yeah.
Comprehension is about being able to read, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm mad at 2 parts of that. Parents not caring.
Sure.
And educators who went to school, put the work in, who was aspired to be an educator, not caring.
Amen.
Not caring. So, yeah, but it takes strong parents walk up in the room and say, "This is not how this is going to work today."
True.
You got to. Let's get down with this. I mean, so parents being afraid to just show up, because there was a teacher who stopped my wife and said, "I'm not going to let this happen," and she didn't look like us.
Yeah.
And she said, because she's an educator, she loves kids.
Mm-hmm.
She loves my kid. She's like, "It's not going to happen like this." She was a kindergarten teacher. He was in 3rd grade.
Right.
She was a kindergarten teacher in 3rd grade, and she spoke up. She said, "This is not going to happen."
True.
So I encourage people, African American, so we said African American parents, to get involved. I mean, you're involved. You're the ones that are doing a great job of getting involved.
True.
Don't let your kids suffer through school. I've heard grown adults say, "Nah, man, maybe my parents just black, white, no matter. Maybe my parents should have been more involved because maybe I wouldn't have struggled in school." There are people now that are just not really being diagnosed that they have ADHD.
That's true.
Yeah.
Baby, have you seen ADHD in a grown person? It's the worst.
Yeah, 40. These people are 40 years old, like,
yes,
because their kid was dealing with something.
Yes,
and they wouldn't got
that's true.
Yeah, and so, but that just starts traumas.
Yeah. Even in school, honestly, that right there led to a trauma for my kid.
Yeah.
Because he thought he was nothing because this is what the teachers are telling him, that you're a bad kid.
Yeah. So, that's just, it's two sides of it. Parents and then the parents who don't know.
Yeah.
Information don't come home by testing, does it? Unless you saw something in your backpack that maybe we should consider.
That.
Because maybe they won't tell you that. They're not legally, but they can't tell you that.
Right.
Yeah. Maybe you got to request it. How you know what the correct request to be done?
You don't.
You don't know.
Right.
You just pass them along.
That's true.
Pass them along.
That's true.
Get them through.
I'm telling you, this is crazy, but funny because I know this is true. And we're almost at the end of our podcast, but listen. So I grew up in DeKalb, right? You grew up in Hooks. So we had special education back in the day.
Of course.
Now it's called 504.
Yes.
Okay. So I have never seen so many people in special education that didn't or were deemed as unteachable, or they didn't know how to count or read or anything, play dominoes so well. Now you have to count when you play dominoes. Baby, they can slap some bones, okay? I was like, how in the world are you over here in special ed? And they say you can't count, but you're behind over here counting these dots on these dominoes.
You can tell me big sixes.
That part, you hear me? So it's just funny to me that I knew people that were in special ed. Once you in special ed, I'm telling you, they went all the way out of high school in special ed, talking about they couldn't count and read, but baby, you playing dominoes over here and count bones. I do not believe that. I think that sometimes as parents, especially back in the day, we didn't really pay attention. Yeah. We were so busy working, trying to take care of home, different things like that, to where we just let these people raise our children and tell us what our kids could and could not do. So,
and I'm telling you, before we go, I grew up in an environment, right? Mm-hmm. I grew up with great grandparents, for the most until I was 15 years old. Mm-hmm. And so, but fortunately, there were people who cared. If there wasn't for those people who cared,
true.
Hey, listen, maybe that was help I needed.
That's true.
I didn't get it. And that's, but the people who cared, you know, who took the time out, who came, Joe Hubbard and Joyce Hubbard, Elaine Hubbard, who took care of me.
Yeah.
Extended family. I think maybe really, them
Hubbards.
The trailers.
Yeah, for sure. I told you we were related somewhere down the line.
People who looked at, it's just, thankful, like, surround yourself with people that's going to love your kid, man.
That's true.
You can't. Be a great parent and get around people because people love your kids.
That's true.
If a teacher attaches, find her.
That's so true.
If you got to need information, find that one that loves your child. She's going to help you. He or she's going to help you get the information you need.
All day long.
And to the educators out there who are doing a great job, thank you.
True. That's true.
For the ones who are not, do better.
That part right there.
Do better.
So we're going to leave with a positive. Mm-hmm. Amanda Nero. She definitely helped me when I was in nursing school. She picked my kids up. She took them to school. She kept them for me. I'm telling you, I would have never made it through nursing school if it hadn't been for God and for that girl right there. I love you forever, and you know I do. We're going to leave with the positive on tonight. Everybody's going to leave with the positive, even the one that didn't even have 2 words to say on tonight, Cam Bam. So, Corey, we always leave our podcast with the positive. So all the things that we talked about on today, just leave somebody with a positive that may be going through, a single mom that doesn't know what to do, how to do it, or whatever the case may be. Or it may be a dad. Who knows? But just leave them with a positive on today.
The beautiful thing about traumas, they're behind you.
Mm-hmm.
Focus on what's in front of you because you control everything that's there. Just be positive, work towards progress, and love your children.
Amen. Cam, what about you?
I would just say, man, like y'all were talking about, just listen to your children, love them, and guide them as much as you can. You know what I mean?
True. My positive on tonight, or my takeaway, would be piggybacking off of Cam and Corey. Honestly, love your children. Always listen to your children. Mm-hmm. Please, parents, listen. Listen with the intent to listen, not with the intent to reply, because sometimes they don't need a reply. Let them tell you what's on their minds and in their hearts. And once they ask you, then please give them your undivided attention, give them your advice, give them whatever. But just let them talk to you, because sometimes we don't need a reply. Sometimes they just need to talk to you. Also, be very active in your children's school. Be very active and be close to your kid's teacher. Honestly, we're out here in these streets and our kids are going through so many things. We're thinking we're fighting stuff. Our kids are fighting things too. If we don't know anything, know that the devil is definitely trying to kill, steal, and destroy. Yeah. But honestly, as parents, as teachers, educators, different people like that, we are definitely, our job is to take care and to make sure that we're good and make sure that our kids are good. All right. So I don't have anything else. You have anything? Corey, you have anything else?
Thank you for having me.
No, thank you for coming on. I definitely appreciate that. I definitely do. All right, guys. So this is the end of our podcast. We thank you so much for watching the episode. If you like it, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe it out, tell everybody you know. And until the next time, peace.